430 Karen 9077. Linky. Okay, Linky. Let me say blessed good afternoon to everyone, those who are here in person and those who are listening online. Just want to welcome you guys to our second training. Today we are going to have Mr. Danger, who will be speaking to us. We are into our spring is here, so all of us in the community want to start our backyard garden. Who have not started are going to start, and who have started are going to continue with the new techniques that we are going to get from today's session. So, feel welcome. You're in Bocamet, you're in Vermont, you're at the ghetto, and Vermont is a place where there's always been an abundance of food and water. Brother Colin Oliver is going to open with a word of prayer. So, let's stand as we
All right, let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we certainly thank you for this privilege of life where we can be in the land that we live in. We thank you for the opportunity that you have given us, that we can be here in this workshop, this training. I pray that as we discuss, deliberate, as we learn, that your Holy Spirit will guide us through, and that what we learn we might be able to put into practice, and at the end of the day will be beneficial, not just to us, our families, but also the wider community. Guide our deliberations now, we pray, in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you very much for that wonderful prayer. You know that it is always important to give reverence to the Most High. We're living in a time when this world is spinning out of control. Wars, strife, all type of stressors that are affecting us. Both natural and both man-made. But we believe that there is only one anchor, and that anchor is Jesus Christ. Amen. So, irrespective of how we feel, irrespective of how things are going, whether at family level, whether at community level, whether at national level, whether at regional level, we know that there is only one anchor. And if once we have the faith and we put the trust in God, we know that everything would be okay. I want you to say that everything would be okay.
Everything will be okay.
When I hear you say nothing,
Everything will be okay.
That's all better. That's it. Yes. Right. We are here today. I mean, one of the better workshop that we had is right in this area. The last workshop. Excellent. And I am sure that our facilitator, Dean Jack, would ensure that this one would be a workshop that you would always remember. The last workshop was on agroforestry with Cornelius Richards. And this one, we'll be looking at the whole issue. We call it ecological gardens, but it is the, simply put, backyard gardens without pesticides and herbicides and all these things that would affect us in the later run. And then would give us some excellent ideas in terms of what we can do, because one of the things a number of persons complain about the pesticides, about not the pesticide, but the pests. You know, as soon as you plant something, I know Amo, you're going through that, as soon as you plant something that, you know, these pests would be around to destroy it. But there are a number of natural things that we can use to limit. I wouldn't use the word to stop, because they would all, they need to eat too. But it's to limit the destruction so that you can, well, you know, you can get good yield, and so when you're ready, you know, you can market your stuff and get reasonable financial return. Let me just say a bit about the project. This project is part of a project that I've been running for over a year and a half. So we have a whole year remaining on this project. The first part of the project, part one, was what we call climate risk and vulnerability mapping. And you remember when we had a session in the community center where we put down these big maps and you were able to tell us about what area within the community that are vulnerable to what we call climate stressors. What areas that are vulnerable to hurricanes, you know, and all the other things that affect. And remember when we talked a bit about the problem that you had 2013, Amo, with the flooding? So the whole mapping itself, the climate risk mapping, came out of Vermont, because it was just after that period when we did the first set of mapping, you know? So you always been a part of what we're doing through Sister Amo and through your vibrant and active organization, you know, Vermont People, All People Unite, yes, I could never get it right. So, you know, we're here again as part of that project. But this project that we're looking at, we're working in about 15 communities that are adjacent to the watershed. So your watershed is the Galloway Vermont watershed. So all the communities that are around here, that we're working in these communities. Tomorrow we'll be in Spring Village, having a similar workshop, but the one that we had the last time with Cornelius Richards, he would be in Vermont tomorrow. In Spring Village tomorrow. So we'll be talking to the people within the community. And so we have about 5 or 6 communities in that area that are adjacent to the Cumberland watershed. So Garden Yard, Coles Hill, Spring Village itself, and there are some others. And next month would be having 3 sessions. One of them would be in what we call the Cannery watershed. So that would involve the communities such as Cannery itself, Park Hill, and South Rivers, and then we have a number of other communities on the coast. So technically we are working with about 6,000 people, but the project itself is a bit limited because it's a pilot project. We'll be working with here about 25 households. That will be for the backyard gardening, ecological garden project. And we also there would be another 25 amount for the agroforestry project. And so this is just the beginning, the first phase of the second phase of this project, where we ensuring that we exchange information, because information is power. Without information, without knowledge, that we would be doing foolishness. So what we make sure that we organize these things in such a way. Welcome, Andrew Lockett. Yeah, Andrew will be here with you later, but mainly with the young people to run some training. Andrew Lockett, one of the director of JEMS and one of the facilitator, like Danger. So I want to encourage you to participate as much as possible. And as I said at the beginning, that I was extremely impressed with the last workshop. And let me just say, one of the sweetest cassava that I've eaten came from you. So if you have any more, you better go get a root for me. But so, just want to take the opportunity to welcome you again and just to say thank you for being here with us. Thank you very much. I think what I'll do at this stage, I would introduce the main facilitator, Dean Jack, one of those, I can't say kid. He was one of the JEMS baby. His mother was a founding member of the organization, and we're extremely happy that he is also a member of the executive board and, continue to be with us to provide the support that is necessary. So Dean is a lecturer at the community college of St. Vincent and Grenadines, but I think you can come just come in. Yeah, as I said, he's a lecturer at the community college, but it's not in this area. This is an area, for me, is one of the most dynamic when it comes to innovation in agriculture. Innovation in, agriculture production, in farming, and so on. For me, he is one of the leading persons in this country. He's not lecturing in that area. You're no longer a lecturer, right? But so I think we can learn quite a lot, and I also want to throw it out. One of the things that we can do later, maybe next month, a month from now, and this would depend on AMO. We can organize so that you can visit. If you can just put the phone on silent for me, or vibrate. Yeah. So we would organize for maybe a morning or afternoon when Dean would host you guys on his farm, so that you can see the real thing, because maybe in the next month or so, month and a half, that's when we will be having the what do you think then? The tools, because we're providing tools and seeds, about $50,000 EC dollars worth of tools and seed to each of the participants. We have 65 participants. We have 3 schools. I'm not too sure whether we have the Vermont school on board.
No, please.
Okay, so we may have to go on. There are space where they could do
They
that?
would have done farming in the past, but I am not sure what is happening there now.
Okay, so we may organize so that we could go and visit them.
No
It
problem.
would be nice for them to participate. We have the Canary Secondary School, and very soon we're going to, again, this is Andrew is organizing this part, but we're going to give them a number of, well, some tools so that they can grow, do their backyard ecological garden project, as well as helping them with planting neem and other crops. 'Cause one of the things that amazed me, especially in walking in Africa, every public building, every school, every major center around in the community, you'll find quite a lot of neem trees. Why? You know why they do that? Because neem they have this problem with mosquitoes, malaria, and there's one you call a cerebral malaria. Once you get bitten, every organ in your body would get swollen, and then they would just burst. And you know what would happen? You die in the process. But we have the dangerous dengue. So it's something that I would really want to see happen in each of the communities that we work in. And we have somebody now who is growing a number of neem trees, with also Andrew, so that we can communicate with the forestry to see how much you can give us, so that you can start to grow your So I've been talking plenty. I want to shut my mouth because I know all they want to say. Making I shut him out. But all they had too much manners. So I go say, Andrew, shut him out. Thank you very much. Dean, over to you. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, so just a correction. Well, a little bit about myself and a correction. I grew up in a farming family. My mom used to do animal husbandry, and I always had a knack for horticulture. So because I normally, I am connected, when I rear animals, I am connected to the animals, so I can't really like slaughter. I was basically seeing my animals being slaughtered, so I gravitate into the crops. Right, so that is where my passion came from, through my mom, because she was a farmer in that sense. I used to lecture at the college. I'm no longer a lecturer there, but I'm still working at the college on the administration, right? Communication and administration. And it's an area that I'm also using when it comes to my farming, because it helps me to market myself. And with that, I don't really go out in the market and sell. What I do, I put my things on WhatsApp, I send them out, people order, and I deliver. Right, so I'm using the media in that sense, the social media in that sense. Right, so today I'm here to speak to you guys on a topic, ecological gardens play an important role in lessening the effects of climate change by reducing carbon footprints, improving soil health through composting, and creating natural sustainable ecosystem, right? Before I go forward, I want you guys to understand fully what I'm going to talk about: ecological, sustainable, those kind of terms. But before I go, I would like to ask you guys first to if you guys could give me what you think ecological or ecology means. Anybody? No one? Okay, so ecology has to do with the relationship that everything within your environment or within the environment or the organism interact with each other. Alright, so it's basically on a relationship. It's how we relate to the plants, the insects, the animals. All of us are connected and the relationship we have with each other. Now, sustainable, when you hear the term sustainable, what comes to mind?
For you to use and for somebody else after.
Okay, any other? Correct, yes, but any other way we can define it? Sustainable.
It's all something we can use to sustain our crops.
Can I use about the same word?
Some things we can use to help the crop.
Help the crop? Okay, so sustainable meaning that basically for it to continue. Alright? It's never being depleted or we never losing that resource or whatever it is. Right? So just keep on going. Okay, so before we go further into it, what I want to do is to play a game with you guys. Right? And we're gonna learn about the environment and ecology, how it actually works, and see how everything helps each other. Right? So two words are gonna come back: ecology and sustainability. Alright? So I'm gonna give you guys index card with an organism from within the environment. Right? And what you're gonna do, you have a ball of twine here. We're gonna start with the tree. So the person who have the tree, you'll pass the ball of twine to somebody else, right? And that person gonna tell me whatever your organism, what connection it has with the tree, or what relationship, all right? Or what benefit it acquires from that, all right? So,
I was about to help you.
I think it's possible to give somebody two because you don't have enough. You could give so you can take two, so it can be two organisms, right?
I have so many plants.
Right. And then it could double up because you don't. And as somebody comes, you could give them one. Alright? Okay. So what's gonna happen?
That one.
What's gonna happen with the twine? What's gonna happen with the twine is that they're gonna actually create a web. All right. And then as we go through, you're gonna see that how that happens, and then we'll take it from there. So now. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it, right? Hi, can we? Okay, so you're gonna hold that, right? You're gonna pass it 20 songs. So you might pass it to the sun, right? So the sun gonna hold here. So we ain't gonna do that. I'm just demonstrating. Just hold it, right? And then the sun gonna tell me what connection it has with the tree. Now you're gonna keep it stiff, right? And then you're gonna send this piece while keeping the tension here. You send it to somebody else, right? You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody understand now. So then you'll take this piece. If it goes to you, you're gonna hold this, and then you're gonna send this. So and then just pass it back and forth. All right? So you can let, right? So who you want to send money? So we're gonna start.
Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Virgil Brown.
So Mrs. Brown, you're gonna hold there.
Mrs. Brown, you have to stand.
You're gonna hold this. Try not to tangle this piece.
If you try sticking your stuff on your clothes, people will have an idea who you are.
And if you just, it might not stick, so you just tell us what organism you have from within the environment. So, go ahead, Mrs. Brown.
The sun,
Huh?
the sun, and it's important for the sun to the plants because without the sunlight, the plants need the sunlight to help it to grow.
Okay, so you send it to somebody else?
Try to somebody.
No.
And it may
Just pass it along. Just say who the person and you just have to pass it.
stand up. Hold it stiff. Hold your piece stiff. Yeah.
Everybody could stand one time. Right?
Trees can grow without leaves. We have bedded leaves, branch the leaves, and then it could be fruits or flowers.
Okay, before, what you can also do is that anybody, you could add in what other connection you take the tree and the sun and the living leaf has in common. Alright? Yes.
Also, the leaf fell from the tree and dropped to the ground to help to make manure.
Okay. Okay, but the living part of it now, with the sun. Anything else, anybody?
Leaves.
You can help that.
Without the leaves, you can't have photosynthesis.
Okay, there we go. So, okay.
Hold your air fast.
So hold it, you didn't finish yet. You didn't finish yet. So repeat what you said, so?
The sun, the leaves make photosynthesis, which is that green stuff in the leaves, and that helps the plant to grow.
And even produce food. Yes? Alright. So you hold the end, hold your end. You hold it like how, right, and then you pass it, who you want to pass it to?
No, because it's too near. Carry it back and bring it.
You could send it over.
Yes, just cross it around, that it could come back in the proper direction.
I have one too, eh?
In a better direction.
Hold your end from
So the living leaf.
rain, and we do need water. Without water, there will be no fruit, as in no food.
But there a connection with leaf?
To the photosynthesis.
The photosynthesis. Okay, anybody else?
Rain.
Okay. The rain and the leaf. Okay, so you guys know that plants don't only take up food from the nutrients or water from the roots. They also use the leaves. Right? So sometimes when you're manuring, you could spray the manure on the leaf, less concentrated, and you spray under. There are things underneath that helps to take up nutrients. Alright? So you could also feed the plants through the leaf. Who you want it to go to? So the rain and the dead leaf.
Well, I have seen one guy in New York who only used the dead leaves that fall in the fall. He heat them up and he would plant his tomatoes. And nothing else he gives them. If it's dry, he would water them. But these dead leaves would just make his tomatoes and his corn and whatever it is he's planting grow.
So tell me what connection it has with the rain.
Well, the rain in a way helps the leaf to decompose.
Thank you. So the rain helps to decompose, and you know, with the rain and the moisture, you're gonna create fungus, and the fungus is also useful. They are good and there's bad, and it helps to break down the leaves into manure or compost. All right.
And
Now keep in mind, right? Okay, continue. Let's go.
Ants is a plague.
You can't stand it.
Ants is a plague. So ants just follow roots and live in roots, and it kills the plants.
Okay, we're looking for the benefits.
It benefits from the ants.
Yes.
Since I'm a farmer, I do get a benefit from it.
No, you got a lot of benefit from the ants. We'll get there. Huh? Anybody? Well, let everybody, then I will speak up. Anybody? Dead leaf and the ants?
Yes. Transport stuff from one plant to the next.
Well, the ants help with pollination, right? Yes, right? But I want to know the connection with the dead leaf. The dead leaf and the ants. So the ants could use the leaf as shelter, yes. Help with the decomposition. Here we go. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Some leaves, ants can eat some leaves also. So it can end up with food based, because there's actually a plant they call the sugar, we call it again. Stevia. The sugary plant. So it will, it will munch on that. Even think about it. Yeah, okay. All right. I was going to say cane, but I kind of take that back. Who do you want this to go to? Let me send it on this side. Let me send it on this side. Let me send it on this side. Grass. Okay, so what is going on here? What are we creating here? What do you call this?
A web.
A web. There you go.
a web.
Can you say this is an ecological web?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. Because it's actually showing the relationship and the connection, right? So the ant and the grass.
The grass, if you cut the grass and you leave it, you can make manure from it, which is a compost, which is very good for you. Putting around whatever root crop or plant you deal with. So grass is a good thing.
Okay, but what's the connection with the ants?
The ants the same way, farmness and the way.
Huh? Okay, so it be similar to
and the leaf.
It's similar.
Ants like buildness underneath it.
Right, nice. So send it over. Send it to who you want to send it. Alright. This is a nice strong web we're creating here, man. This web is nice.
I am the mouse.
So the grass and the mouse.
The grass and the mouse destroy your crop.
No, benefits.
Benefit?
Yes, the benefits.
The benefit from a mouse?
Yes, the benefits of the mouse, yes. And the grass. With the grass, how the grass could benefit the mouse, or the mouse could benefit the grass. Let's make that connection.
Benefit from mouse.
What's the connection? Okay, what's the connection? Give me a positive connection. The grass and the mouse.
The mouse would hide under the grass.
Can the mouse eat the grass?
Yes.
And when you eat the grass, what does it do? It helps to break down the grass. Eventually the grass, although it's going to be faces, it's going to break down back into the soil, so it's actually going to create soil.
Manure.
Could actually create manure and soil. But we don't use it as that, but eventually it's going to
That's
break
what I'm thinking. The mouse is very dangerous.
No, I'm not saying it is not, but there's still some benefits to it in the ecosystem. Okay? Alright. Anybody else? Okay.
The mice also using grass to build nests.
To build nests, okay, so you create a home. Okay, so the mouse and the spider.
The spider helps to create a web connection between all these what we just said here, back to the tree here.
Okay, but make the connection with the spider and the mouse.
The mouse.
How they function?
How they function?
Within each other. How they connect to each other?
Well, I think the spider have web and it could help if we web up the mouse and so on.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, what if the mouse dies?
If the mouse dies,
The spider eats it.
The spider can feed off of it. Yes. Yes. All right. Pass to somebody else.
You could send it up here. Send it up. So we are sending it to. We are sending it to.
Yeah, maybe connect.
Snake is going to snake.
Somebody snake. Coverman.
Yes, the connection between the snake and the spider.
Between the snake and the spider?
Yes, something positive.
Well, snakes, I think, eat spiders, so they could launch. And when the spider create feces, they can go into the soil and create what we call manure, very good for growth of the plant.
Okay, wait.
Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Send it.
Send it. But she got to come in.
You gotta come into the web.
Rose, come in fast. Come in. Over there, we pass it to you. Come in, but it's good. Yeah, but you. Okay.
He chose Rose, so you can't blame him.
The Rose just comes, yeah, get the Rose involved.
Rose, so what we're doing is making a connection. So you're going to tell me how does the soil, because he sent it to you, what connection you have between the snake and the soil.
You have it upside down. Space.
Right?
I like snake. I don't like snake. If I dig and I meet the snake in the soil, it's gonna die.
Tell us. Well, I hope today when you meet it in the soil, you will leave it.
Leave it?
So tell us.
A good thing.
Tell us something good about the snake and the soil.
Well, I don't know much about the snake and the soil. All I know is that the snake dig in the soil and maybe eating whatever.
Okay, so you could eat the mouse, which if the mouse population is too high, it helps to regulate the population. Yes.
Yes, they can eat the grub them, clean up the soil then.
Lovely.
Clean the soil.
All right. Who has the earthworm? I see the earthworm. Who has earthworm? The earthworm need to be somebody to get earthworm. Somebody has the earthworm. Who has
And that's what you have. We have the Oliver.
Oh, you got somebody.
Okay.
So go and hide him.
Take the earth.
Part of the web.
Give me back this.
Oh, here it is. Alright. So we have someone connected. We want to get the
No, you done. Just go ahead now. Just hold your head.
Send it.
Give me this. So I'm going to send it straight to the earthworm. I want him to hear this connection. Yes, the soil and earthworm. This is very, very important, everybody. So, I know you all like to kill the snake. I hope you all don't kill the earthworm. I really hope you all don't do that. All right? So, and if you do it, from today I advise you guys to stop. All right? So, tell me the soil and the earthworm.
I'm not sure, but from the little that I know, I believe the earthworm, right? What it does, it eats up the compost, the rotten the rotten things on the soil. It eats it up and make compost as a nutrient for the soil. So it eats up all the things that is on the ground. Rotten peel, rotten leaf, anything rotten, it eats it up.
So they help with the decomposition of the dead matter. And when they do that, what it actually creating? It's actually creating soil. It's actually creating the soil. All right. Any other thing any other benefit of the earthworm?
In order for this soil to be healthy, to know if your soil is healthy, you must see the earthworm.
Thank you for that. So, any soil that you're digging and you're not seeing any earthworm, it is a poor soil. It is not healthy. Once you see earthworm, and I can't remember exactly the measurement, but there's a measurement it's supposed to meet. In that measurement, it's supposed to meet something like 10 or 8 earthworms, and then you know that is a fertile soil. Once you're not seeing that, you know that something is wrong with your soil. Earthworm, another thing about earthworm, anybody?
It kind of turns up the soil.
You say it turns up the soil, and what I want to say, it helps create air pockets, so the roots form. So so the connection with the tree now is that it helps with the plants, for the roots them to go deeper and to get to wherever the nutrients is, and they help to with the root development of the plant at the end of the day.
Okay, so they loosen the soil.
Loosen the soil.
The root for the plant can get to go down.
And not even the roots. Water plus air.
Yeah.
And these are very important for your soil. When your soil is compact, it's poor soil. Right? That means that the roots are not going to get the water is just going to run out. All right? Give it to me, give it to me. Give it to me, give it to me. Now, the reason I'm doing this, I'm the centipede. And I know you all like to kill centipede once you see them in the soil, and I advise you guys, if you see a centipede in the soil, it's going to run from you, leave it alone. The centipede does the same thing as the earthworm. Now the thing is, I advise you, if you see it in your house, it is out of place. You kill it. You understand? Now I also, just yesterday I was looking at something and they were saying that if you see a centipede in your house, leave it. And they were saying the reason for leaving it is because it actually get rid of the cockroaches, get rid of the ants. But the thing is, I'm sorry, but I can't deal with that. I can't deal with the bite, but it does that. It does that. It helps clean the other insects within inside your house. Okay, so the centipede, and I want to make it a bit.
What you have?
We have one more. The centipede and the bird. Papi, you have something? Okay, we're coming to you, don't worry. Everybody.
Ask me 1 second. I think the centipede also kill something under the earth.
Yeah.
That kills your plants.
I think you're talking about the grubbers.
Yeah.
And the wasp.
Now, so tell me, the centipede and the bird.
Centipede and bird.
I think bird can eat centipede.
So the centipede is food for the bird.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you. That's good. So the bird, give it to me.
Hold your end. Hold up.
So we're just gonna send it round to the others. I'll get it. We have the board and the lizard. Okay, so try not to make it tangled.
Put it back. Right this way. That's just
So we have remaining butterfly and frog. And frog.
Frog.
Huh? The B. And the B.
Yeah, river.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, lizard. Sometimes lizard have to destroy our crops.
No, not this. Give me the benefits. The benefits.
Oh.
Now the lizard on the board.
Lizard on the board.
Lizard on the board. What connection?
The board eat. Help to clean.
No, you the lizard. You tell me what the
the lizard does.
So what you can say? If I don't want to say it, I want you to say it. Go ahead. Let me hear what you want to say.
It kills insect. It helps to
No, what's the connection between the lizard and the board? You're making a connection between the lizard and the board. Just the other day I saw a hawk with a lizard.
The
lizard.
The board pick the lizard and go with it.
The board eat the lizard, food. So it is food for the board. Alright? So, you good now?
And the board feed and board boards and lizard feed and harmful pests.
Unharmful pests.
Pass it over here, so and then she go send it up. Come, babe, see your turn. Butterfly and lizard. Butterfly and lizard.
This is a tricky one, let's go. Butterfly and lizard. But it's really tricky, it's really tricky, just had a thing.
The butterfly and the lizard, the lizard eat the butterfly.
Okay. Okay. So now,
oh, the butterfly
okay, so okay, Well, butterfly are dangerous too, you know.
Yeah, they laugh.
Yes. Well, in the form of a caterpillar, it eats your plant.
Yes.
Right? So, can you just hold that in and just send me the loose piece, right? You're river, right?
Yeah.
So let me go.
Wonder.
Let me go to the bee. Yeah, the bee is very, very important also. You don't know about bees? You're going to find out today.
Bees important.
It is?
Yeah.
What are you can exchange?
Don't pull up.
Bees is one of the most important.
Yeah, well, I will learn today then.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Go ahead.
Really tangle up.
Okay, so bee, yes.
So the bee and the what?
The bee and
butterfly.
The butterfly. Hold it stiff, yeah.
Bee and the butterfly connection.
Yeah.
Those supposed to be swear enemies? I don't know.
Well, if it's swear enemies, one of them benefiting somehow.
Yeah.
If they're enemies, yeah, hopefully have some benefit.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. Relation between butterfly and bees. I guess the bees will eat the butterfly. It's a form of food. And then the bee, of course, will produce honey as a result of being nourished by the butterfly. Right? And of course, the circle goes right around.
Yes.
Yeah? Human consumption, and all of that.
So you're the demand.
Let me ask a question. Bee, you voice and bee, right?
Yeah.
What bee makes their hive from? What they use to make the hive? There's a reason why I asked that, eh?
It's a byproduct of nectar.
Nectar, okay.
Yeah, they use nectar for honey.
Right.
And part of one of the compounds in the nectar is the wax.
Okay. Well, the reason why I asked that is because one time I saw a jasper, right? I saw the jasper actually skinning a caterpillar. Actually skinning the caterpillar. And when it done, it take the caterpillar skin. I watch it, I even had it on my phone. It rolled the skin up and it fly away with it. And I paused, well, my belief is that it was using it to make the nest. As a glue or something it was using. So that's why I asked, because I wasn't sure what the bees.
The stain, the Jack Spaniel goes to the peas and they have some stain. They go to trees where have stain, and they take it and along with the butter, wherever skin it is, and they carry it there and they stick the stain onto the skin and they make the nest.
Right.
That's what.
Wow, man.
Question.
Yes.
I was picking some peas this morning. See some those what called Jack in the box. What the purpose of those things? Jack in the box.
I can't. I don't know. I really don't know. I know you're talking about the long thing, but I think I think it's a house for maybe. It had to be like a moth. It's a moth, right? It's a moth, right?
Okay. They make the nest the same way like.
Okay, so
when it comes out, when the moth comes from the box, it flows off as fully complete in its life cycle.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the river last, right? So let me get the excess piece. So we're gonna come to.
You can get it
from here. You can get it from here.
Okay, right. So send it over.
Have we missed anyone?
Yes, we have 2 portions.
Yeah, the frog.
Rock.
And the frog. We have the frog too.
Frog.
Frog and rock.
So the rock and the bee, right?
That's a good one.
The bee, the rock and the bee. Yes. Yes.
Rock and the beach.
That's it. That's a nice one.
I don't know if the rock can be habitat for the bee.
Yes, it is where it can go and build its hive. Yes, correct. Anything else?
I guess the rock also probably, in some cases, will help to prevent erosion.
Well, yes, it does, but we just focusing with. We will make other connections later. We make other connections. Okay, so the river now. You hold your piece now.
Right.
So we have the rock and the river. Rock and the river.
All right. The connection there is that the rock, the water, it produces the water that run into the river. The water spring from the rock and of the river.
Okay. Anybody else?
The rock is where the water spring from into the river.
Rocks in the river help to slow down the water from
Slow down the water.
Change adaptation.
What else? What connection with the water and the rock? There's other things?
House, the food, fish and crayfish and that kind of thing.
Right, but the rock, right? Okay, the river. And any other thing else?
The rock help to keep the water cool.
If it's on the river bank, keeps the banks going.
Do you know that the water eventually erodes the rock? And when it erodes the rock, what it creates? Come back down to soil. And also the water could help with the rock to take minerals from the rock into the water that ends up to the plants. Alright? So now, any other connection that anybody want to just look at this?
Frog.
Huh? Oh, frog, sorry. Frog is my good buddy, you know.
Come on, frog.
Frog is my good buddy from way back when. And I forget the frog. Me and frog is family, you know. Okay, let's go.
So I'm frog with whom?
The river.
Oh boy. The frog. What is the benefit with the river? The frog goes to in the river. Frogs in the river. Lay eggs.
Lay eggs, okay.
What else?
Well, if it ain't drink water, it could dehydrate.
Could drink water too, but I said that first I think I say get water from the river and it laid eggs there, cool place for it. Yeah.
Alright.
It get it babies there.
What is the benefit of the frog now?
Benefit of the frog?
kills insects.
It kills the flies, it taking the flies, it eat up mosquitoes. Yeah.
And even when you see them in the garden, you know that they help to regulate the pests within your garden.
Yes. So frogs are actually excellent indicator of what we call environment health.
So you don't throw salt on the frog?
No, you don't.
If you don't see
no, well, they're gonna learn that now. You're gonna learn.
If you don't see the frog around, you should be worried.
Really?
Alright. Yeah, it's present for your pets. Is everything have
Poisonous for your pets.
Okay,
Keep it
so
already.
hold the web as stiff as you can.
Yeah.
Alright? Now, I'm gonna cut out the rain. Right? So let go the rain. You let go. Right? When you let go, what happens?
Everybody dies.
What happens? You gotta look at the connection, look at the line. Who got affected directly? Living leaf and dead leaf. Alright? Now if the dead leaf dies, let go.
Let go dead leaf.
Let go. Who else get affected? You just let
The
go.
ants.
Ants. So ants gone out of the ecosystem.
Ants not let go, just. And what?
Well, no, not the sun.
No.
Okay.
The ant won't affect
So you.
the ant will not affect the sun.
No, let us speak. Yes, go ahead.
I was saying that somebody was saying the sun, S-U-N. So I was saying the sun, the ant not there will not directly affect the sun.
No, it didn't come from the ant.
Right. It won't directly, right? But some other organism gonna get affected because remember two.
Yes.
Right? So let's let go the mouse now. Who's affected?
Spider. What the lady was there? The grass.
So the grass gonna be affected. Who else gonna be affected? No. So now we get an idea of what's going on. So one thing is affected, and that is what does that mean? If the population has been decreased so drastically, then this is what can happen. And this is why climate change, we have to be very, very and fight against what is going on with climate change. All right, we have to stop the pollution. We have to stop the spraying of the pests in that way. And then, as I go through this, I will give you ideas of how to control them. Otherwise, because at the end of the day, we need everything in the environment or in the ecosystem is useful, no matter how harmful it may be. You just have to learn to regulate the population to a controllable number.
So
all right?
It's really for sustainability.
So that is what sustainability is all about. All right? So once we damage one thing, we damaging indirectly, we're damaging something else. So when we take I'm going to give you all an example. The spray can with the gramazone, right? And we go and we spray the land. We're killing centipede. We're killing cockroach. We're killing ants. Right? And then we clear the ground. And then the rain comes and then wash away all the soil.
And it goes into the water.
And it going into the water.
Kill the mullets.
Kill the fishes.
Yep.
Alright? So we have to be very, very careful. Alright, so that is for this activity. So this is what ecology, your ecosystem is all about, and how we're gonna, and this is what we're gonna try to actually create a ecosystem within your garden space. Alright? So let us continue and get more information.
Roll up.
So okay, it's gonna be a bit ticklish, but River will do a good job, man. Don't worry. Have faith in River.
I think you need a round of applause for that. This is very good.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the soil health. So with the soil health, we're gonna go. Everything that we're gonna do now is gonna go back to what we just did, right? With the well. So.
And we didn't know about Monty with the web.
No. Don't roll it. Don't put it together. No, don't put it together.
Done already. Smart is done already. Done already.
Otherwise, you're gonna tangle up more.
Mate, just one piece to here now.
Okay.
Just one piece there.
Thank you.
All right. So.
No. Let's go ahead. You will.
I will hold
Yeah,
on to
I'll
them.
hold mine.
Well, we just have to be new ones, man, because they look too old. Okay, so when it comes to your soil, all right? Well, one of my key things that I do in my garden is the applying of mulch, right? And what mulch is basically anything that you cover the soil with, okay, to keep it intact. Now my favorite materials to use is wood chips and grass cuttings. All right? I am not a fan of the synthetic materials because they don't regulate the temperature in the soil and they actually kill organisms within the soil. So I stick with things from nature. All right?
Banana leaves. Dry banana
Yes,
leaves.
those are very good. Any leaf, any organic matter. When it comes to the plastic, I stay away from those because with our climate, heat actually kills useful organisms, useful bacteria, or the microbes within the soil. No, yes. Cardboard is very, very good. You rest. If you even in a piece of land, right, that looks unhealthy, even if you rest a piece of cardboard there, right? Say for a week to a month, and you go and you move that cardboard, you're gonna meet earthworms. You don't know where they come from, right? So that means that when the soil is poor, what the earthworm does, they go further down. They go further down, so they're not close up to the soil to actually nourish the soil where the plants, where your surface crops could get good nutrients. So they actually revert to going way down in the ground. All right? Now,
Excuse me, please.
yes.
May I no, when I loosen the soil, the earthworm normally get cut. Does it die?
Yes, it does.
You feel so?
Yes.
For me, I will say no because I will say no. When some of them do die, I think it's the natural one.
The thing is, the earthworm, the segments, you have to cut it in a specific way for it to grow back. Once it cut out of that, it dies.
That's what I'm going to say. Because
but the majority of the time we kill them. Once we till the soil up like that, we kill it.
Yeah, because when it cut a certain way, the other piece, when you go a few weeks, you meet it there with a different.
I know, but it has to be a specific cut.
Alive.
Sometimes if we get lucky, but the majority of the time we kill them.
The big ones, the big ones get cut.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to talk about mulch, the importance of mulch. Alright, and when we talk about mulch, I'm only talking about organic material. So we talk about the wood chips, the dry leaves, even you can use green leaves. When you turn green leaves into your soil, you add nitrogen. Right? And I grew some of the biggest heads of lettuce in St. Vincent, right? I'm not the only one. I have other persons around me who actually does it. And one of my, two of my main techniques when it comes to that is that I turn grass cuttings into my soil, right? I mulch and I actually give them space. The plant lettuce close, they're gonna grow. Like coconut trees. Give them space, they spread out. Right? Another thing, the soil has to be rich in nutrients. Alright?
Explain.
Organic manure. Now, when it comes to manure, right? Sheep manure respond differently to some crops that fall manual. So if I know I want, somebody order, okay, then I need 200 heads of lettuce in May. I am not going to feed my lettuce sheep and goat manure. What I will go, I go and give them fowl manure, because fowl helps the rapid growth of trees. So you have to know what manure, everything comes down to a science at the end of the day.
Is only fowl alone.
Huh? No, well, not fowl alone, but fowl is one of the main ones to give it a boost, which is actually one of the best. That's what I'm saying. Right? Now, the best manure you could use entirely for every and anything, rabbit. Rabbit is the only manure that I will advise you guys that you can take it right from the, as soon as they drop it, to your plant. You do that with fowl, born on your plant. You do that with cow, same thing. But rabbit, the only one I will advise you guys you can use. I don't mess around with bat, to be honest, but eventually when it breaks down, it is good. But I avoid bats. Pig somewhat, but pig, from my understanding, pig can actually destroy your...
Very dry. We have to be very, very
We have to be very careful with pig, eh? You have to be very careful with pig, so...
Fall manure, what do I say about how long do you think after the fall manure should be used? 2 weeks?
I personally, I give all of those, like even my compost, 6 months.
Months?
6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. Because you want it. And the thing is, well, you don't have to give it 6 months, but the thing is, what you should do is that when you put in your, once you go to your fall manure and you're smelling any foul scent, it's not good. If it's not smelling earthy, leave it alone. It's only when it smells like fresh, like earth itself, then you could actually use it. So that's why my timing is 6 months for everything, basically. Because I give it more than enough time. Even if it's 4 months, okay, let me get 2 more months just to secure it.
So then you're saying that with this project coming on stream, that people should start to collect and rest them aside so that they can break down.
Yes. You give them time to break down because they have all kind of bacteria and stuff in the harmful bacteria. And what at the end of the day, what you want in your soil is the good microbes. Alright? Those are tiny organisms that helps with soil generation and stuff like that.
Can you explain why you are not comfortable with the bat and the pig manure?
Well, the pig, from my research, the pig itself has harmful enzymes within them at the end of the day. So sometimes you have to, even when you're cooking pigs, you have to be very, very careful. You have to cook it properly. Just it could have harmful enzymes or whatever inside of them, so you have to be very careful. No, but from my research, you have to be very, very careful with bats, right? Bats carry a lot of disease and stuff like that.
Actually, the bat mist is what a lot of the ganja men use. That's what the question they use.
And you see, do they eat ganja?
No. Okay.
So I'm just straight up. The vegetables they eat.
Yes. And
some people do.
Some
people cook ganja with rice.
And one of the worst disease from bats is rabies. Rabies is something that kills you. Very painful death.
And I know an established farmer in St. Vincent. I went to him one time and he said to me, he will never put pig manure in his land because he says that he finds that the pig manure actually damages the soil itself, the soil quality and everything like that.
Wow.
And that is from his experience. I personally, I use it already. I got results from it, but it is not as it doesn't give me the longevity as as like goat manure and stuff like that. It depletes quickly. Alright? Now, you also can have living mulch. When I say living mulch, I mean like certain plants. You know, there's a plant we call porcelain, porcelain, sorry. Porcelain, right?
That short plant with
yes, some thick.
Full of water.
Yes. So we can, those are very good in the dry season. You see them, you can actually leave them. You control them in a certain way that they could actually cover the soil for you and retain the moisture, right? Now, the reason why the mulch is very important for your soil is that it, as it breaks down, it adds manure, it helps to retain the moisture within the soil for organisms to actually breed and grow. Right? No, actually, the cover, with all of that, it helps to feed the good microbes. All right. So at the end of the day, in everything that, as I'm going through, even the soil health and everything like that, you're going to realize that mulching is my key. Go ahead method that I use. All right. Any question on soil health?
Sorry. How often or how long should you use a particular part of soil? Like if you're planting like short crops, how long should you use that? Planting the plant and so on.
So let me tell you what I do. I mulch regularly, right? So once you're continually mulching and you're using your compost and whatever, what I do is a crop rotation.
Okay.
So I don't plant one crop. Even in my garden, I'm going to tell you, in my garden, if I'm working with this space, I have a cabbage here, I have a chive here, then I might have a pepper plant here. So I always have, because I always have different crop plants within an area, because different plants take different nutrients and add different nutrients to the soil. So I try to create a balance at the end of the day. All right. Even in my lettuce bed, yes, I have the lettuce which bears above the ground. Then in the middle, you will see I have beet. So you might have lettuce, beet, and lettuce over here. And that's I'm talking about a galvanized width bed, right? And I don't leave. What I do with that, I don't leave the soil like just flat on the bed, like a flat bed. What I do, I kind of give it a little raise. So in the middle, the root tube I have, which is the beet, have more room to play with. And the lettuce just spread out. So the lettuce at the end of the day create a cover also as they grow, right? And within that, I even have the grass clippings inside, because I actually mold it into the soil, right? And so then when I done, I actually put a layer sometimes, just to keep. Right? Now, what I also do is that I use shade cloth when it comes to lettuce. Right? Because, well, the reason why I'm doing that, when you're designing a garden, you have to take into consideration where the sunlight is hitting most on a particular time of the day. So you have to know what certain plants like from what they don't like. Lettuce don't like too much sun. And when lettuce is exposed to plenty sun, they turn bitter quickly. They turn bitter when they're old and also when they're exposed to plenty sun. So your lettuce need the morning sun and the late evening, good for lettuce. But the midday, try to. So what you're going to do is like, maybe you might have okay, for instance, I have okras. Even around my beds, I have the okra, and then I'll have a lettuce. So they are different stage plants. So the lettuce will be more to the ground, and then they have the okra, and then others to add some shade, even if I don't have the shade cloth, but I do use shade cloth. All right?
So you're saying to me that you have lettuce, you have like a okra tree in between the lettuce?
Yeah. So even like the bed itself, this is the bed, right? The bed is off the ground, because I don't believe in lettuce on the ground, yeah? That's just me, right? So the bed is here, then I plant a lettuce plant here. No, sorry, I plant a okra, right? Based on how the land is even sloping. So if I know, okay, the sun coming this way, right? I know, okay, by the time midday, I try the midday, when I know the afternoon sun is be hotter, so I might just put them on this side. So by the time 12:30, it don't start to give the shade here. Right? So yeah, those are the things you have to take.
So in terms of responding to that, the question, okay, you are asking how long should you use a piece of land before you move on? But what I'm understanding you're saying, if you do your thing properly, if you in terms of the
rotation, yeah,
right. In terms of the direction of the thing, and you rotate your crop properly, with your mulching and all the things that you're putting in, that you can use that for a long period.
And once you know the plants, if you know, okay, this plant adds a lot of nitrogen to the soil. If you plant a particular plant, when you don't reap that now, you plant a plant that takes the nitrogen from the soil. So you don't really have, when people telling you, okay, you leave the land, you don't really have to. Let me ask you something, nature doesn't leave anything? Every day something going in nature. And some of the richest soil you can meet is in nature. But the reason why we have to leave that is because when we use all the chemicals and stuff, we have to try to leave the soil now so nature could come back and try to rebuild itself for us to go again.
Yeah, my question is, I remember from the cover, right? My father cultivates land. But he never used fertilized manure. The PMK, very bad. He never used that. He never used gramazone. What he did is that he used the hoe and drop the grass and shake it off. So the grass remained in the side. He never threw the grass. Okay? And then that same grass helped to keep the water in the soil. So our soil has never lose its energy because he continued to plant crops and it's done all the time and nothing ever happened.
Right.
But then what I noticed, since we started to use the gramazone and the fertilizer, we noticed the soil become depreciative. In that it does not produce the crop the way it produced the crop before. One time I did an experiment on our soil. I planted a banana tree right by itself and I give it no fertilizer. When I take it to the station, it weighs 39 pounds. The other banana weighs 32 pounds. Does that tell us something? The fertilizer depreciates the crop along with. Okay? And there is where we go to the line where we lost the whole sense of farming. Because what we do, we follow the scientists then. Okay? And we do what they tell us to use. So the natural thing is there for us to go back to. Okay? Those natural things that we used before is what is best for us.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you have a mass production, you have an estate with 1,000 and 2,000 banana plants, but you want to use fertilizer.
But the thing
because
is,
it's increased.
Right, but that's what I'm trying to. This is one of the thing I'm trying to bring to you guys is that
you don't care what
get rid of the monocropping. The monocropping is not really sustainable. Monocropping is all about commercial. They all just want to make a big set of money.
The volume.
And it's the volume, and it's not sustainable. It's actually creating more harm than good. So that's why even in my small space, I say I have X amount of different plants.
No, my thing is that you might say mulching, and other people might not understand the importance of mulching.
Right.
And that is why it will not look like efficient to them. Because when you mulch your lawn, the more you mulch your land, the more your land develop, the more your land be sustained. Because what you put there is it's green grass and wet grass and dry grass, and it hold the water in the land and it decomposes itself because it breaks down itself and it decomposes itself. So that builds the land all the time. So your land never becomes weak because what you put into the land at the time that builds the land up. Okay? If you plant a crop and you just put fertilizer, when the fertilizer loses, when the grass that sucks the fertilizer, suck it out, and you move the grass from the land, what you do? You throw it away. And what happens to the land? The land exposed, right
the
away
elements.
to the element that destroy it. Okay, so it cannot produce efficiently as it should produce.
Yeah, but I agree with you.
And that's the problem with this whole thing.
I just want us to some very important point, but a little bit monocrop.
Right.
Mulching. If you can just break that down and see how we do it.
Oh, sorry.
And
Okay,
you
so
you still have your question that you ain't raised yet. I remember. Okay.
So when we talk about monocropping, it's like you just can't take one crop. Mono mean one. So you have a field. You have a field and it's just strictly cassava. Right? I have a cassava field, right? And this is cassava man, right? Okay. Now this is how I plant my cassava, right? And I like order because I'm an artist, right? I have them in lines. So I have a line of cassava, and then 3 feet from that line of cassava, I have potatoes, then I have cassava again, then over on that side I have a line of tomatoes, and then and what I do, I don't really till my soil that much. What I do, I use a swiper. So in between 2 feet, I give my plants in like a 2 feet space. I swipe. When I done, I rake. Everything I swipe, I rake to the roots. And that's my mulch. That's my natural mulch. Right? So that is how I do my stuff. So everything in my land goes back. Even look, I cut some cabbage weekend. I did not pull off my cabbage roots. All I do, I cut off the heads, cut off the head part, and I leave the root. When I leave the root there, what happens? They can spring back, but I didn't want them to spring back, so I cut them lower down so that they wouldn't spring back. What I leave that for?
To develop.
It rot.
And develop.
It rot, yes.
And
Compose, but the root that I left there, as that rot, it leaves the air space. So you have to be thinking around. Now, so even when I plant, so like I plant a tomato here, I give them like a 2 feet space. Put that there. When I cut that and leave that there, in this space I plant something else. So that root here is breaking down by itself. So that's how I do my farming. Alright? Okay, anything else? We want we're kind of going back and forth, but we.
I was wondering if anybody here heard about black gold when it comes to the gardening.
Black gold, what you make it by a char you're talking about?
No, what that actually is, any grass or plant that you weed up, you throw it in a barrel.
Okay, I'm getting
and after it's filled, you pour water in.
That's what I'm coming to now.
Oh, wow. So let me shut my mouth.
Yes, I'm getting there. So, right, at the right time. Okay, so fertilization. Black gold, what he means, liquid manure, correct?
Exactly.
Right. Now, what I do, I have barrels upon barrels. So I even have one now. I even went and looked at it the other day. It's dark. And I know that is good. You're not even getting a smell from it. You understand? And I had that like for 3 years. You don't have to have it for 3 years.
What is this?
I'm going to get it.
No.
Liquid manure. But they call it black gold.
Yeah, say what in it is yet.
No, I'm not getting it. So what is in what I do, even the same cuttings, some of the plants, even my cabbage, my banana skin, fish, my fish bone, chicken bone, whatever, I get a barrel with water, the barrel, and I throw everything in that with water, and I just leave it there where it breaks down. And when it breaks over time, and then you don't have a smell from it, you know you're good to go. And that is your natural manure. The thing is, when applying, you have to be very careful because it will be very concentrated. So the measurement that I do is always 10 to 1. So if I have 10 of this with water and just 1 of that in the 10. Understand? So if I have a 50-gallon barrel, then you know half of that. Remember it's 10 to 1. Right? So it'll be, right? So it'll be, okay, so 50, it'll be, what math teacher?
5.
It'll be 5.
Yeah, 5.
You sure? Right,
Yes.
5. Yes, 5. Yes, 5. Alright? So the thing is, you keep kitchen scraps and all of that. Everything. You finish cooking, you raw, even your rice and stuff, you know, if you don't have any dogs or anything, everything in there. Everything. Your rice water is very, very good. Even you let that to ferment and you give your plants. You give your plants that and you see it. And the rice water does similar to the fall manure with your leafy crops.
Say it again.
The fall, the rice water, you wash it. Right? You start from it, you leave it to ferment like for a day or two. You don't want to get too rancid. And then you go and you give your plants that. You'll see how you see how they shoot up. Now, if you want a soil application, all you have to do, you get you buy how much pound you want. You could actually use it like that, or you could actually blend it up and apply it into your soil. And that will help to build the microbes, feed the good microbes, and they will help with your soil nutrients and with root development of the plants. Alright? So even the eggshells, I got a story for you guys. I don't know if you guys saw on the weekend they were doing some cleanup at Diamond. And they throw, if you see eggs, they throw. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I call a partner, I say, let me go over. Because we want the eggshells. Right? When I go over there, they clean them up. But if I tell you, because the eggs were there over a while, I got natural calcium. I got 3 sacks, 3 full feed sacks, and the guy got 2. And that is my calcium. I have calcium that could last me a couple of years now, because when now, you know my tomatoes, the peppers, you know the bottom end rot, disease. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Because when I planted my tomatoes, I'll just throw a little bit of that in there and you just feed on that calcium. So no bottom end rot for me on both of them. So when I see things like that, I act on them. You understand? The people was complaining on the Facebook, but I smile. I said, I just want to wake up and get up over there. But I miss the eggshells. Talking about eggshells, I'm going to skip a little bit to the pest control part. When it comes to the snails and the slugs, you don't have to use chemicals. See that eggshell? You crush that around your plants. And the snails, nor these slugs will pass over them because they actually cut their body and they don't like that. So they keep away. Alright?
That's even if you blend the eggshells.
So if you blend it, you just gain calcium. But if you want to for pest control, you just have to for rapid release of the calcium, blend it up. But for pest control, you just crush it up and you drink it. And they'll just stay away. Alright? So irrigation. Talk about irrigation now. Back to the mulching. Once you use the mulch, the mulch you're going to keep in the soil. So you don't have to go, you wet it once, it might, next day you could go back and wet it based on the temperature. Right? Now, you know, if the land is bare and you go and you're wet, by this evening you have to go back and wet again because it will dry out. So the mulch helps to retain the moisture within the soil. Alright? And the thing is, the best depth, well the ideal depth is from 4 to 6 inches thick, a mulch. Because you want to suppress the weeds also. Alright, so you help to suppress the weeds. Now, looking around here, it looks like you guys don't really have much problem when it comes to moisture in the soil. Because it's the place really green to me, right? So what I advise you guys to do, when you're mulching, one thing you have to take into consideration, just leave about a 3-inch off a diameter, so maybe a 6, right, off the root. Because of the moisture, it could cause fungus, right? So you mulch everything else around, but you leave the air around the root. Alright?
About 4 inches, is it?
4 inches away from 3 off. Like this is the plant, about 3 inches this way, 3 inches this way, 3 inches this way. Right?
Perfect.
Right. But the mulch is very, 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 very important. Alright? Now, irrigation, Now, if you're having problems, like you're going to do your home garden and you're having problems with water, you can start to think about recycling. Right? Now, it doesn't take much to create your own irrigation system. And I'm going to show you one right now. So you're small, you have those. You can use the barrel drums and stuff like that. Well, when you guys come visit me, you'll see how I put my stuff together. But you can use these bottles. This small one, this could actually feed a plant for the entire day. Right? And this is what I'm going to this is one right here that I just made. Right? This is just we call this thing again. Right? This is all it is. Put that there, you find somewhere to stick it by the root, and you turn it over. And it's going to take a time. As it saturates, it just drip, and this could feed your plant for the entire irrigation. And that's your drip irrigation right there.
There's another way for that too. You like both small holes in the bottom, and you kind of semi-open the top.
Right.
And it drip.
Alright? So you can utilize these things. Now the thing is, my farming technique, sometimes I do a lot of research. I spend most of my time, when I go home, if I'm not in my garden, to be honest with you guys, last night I leave my garden around 9 o'clock. Sometimes I just leave my garden till 11 o'clock in the night.
You're not married, right?
Huh? Yes, I'm married.
You're married, okay.
You hear the snake? Is that what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm married. But the thing to that, my wife is not in Siemens right now. But still, sometimes once communication, she knows her stuff to do, because I have dragon fruit, right? And she knows dragon fruit is one of my top crops. She knows that I have to wake up 1 o'clock in the morning to pollinate, because that's the peak time. Sometimes I'm outside, she's sleeping, and she knows I'm outside, and I pollinate.
May I ask a question, how long dragon fruit? I just planted some, I just want to
Well,
know how long I have to
if you
wait.
plant by seeds, it takes up to 3 years.
Wow.
Now, if you plant by cuttings, old cuttings, could be 8 months.
They give me the root, everything with the plant. Like
Yeah, but all they have,
instead of waiting for it to bust
yeah,
root,
all they have
give
the
me
roots.
with the roots.
All they give you the root. They don't know if it's a young cutting. If it's a young cutting, it's going to take you a while. Now, I have certain techniques that I use. Well, there's some things that, well, I was advised by a mentor that he gave me a method and told me not to really say much about it right now. So I'm not going to go into much detail about it. But I could plant a dragon fruit today, in season, and in 2-3 months it's there.
Wow.
Right? I have a technique now, even with limes, that I will take a lime. Well, that one is a lime, you have to know when to set it, and then as soon as I put it in the ground, it bears. Right? Right away. When you guys come, I will show you guys. Alright? But you have to know when to do it. You just think you're just gonna, and you have to know which stem to do it on.
I think I know a little something about
You'll be a my competition.
I think I know a little something, but
Do you plant by moon? Do you plant things by moon?
By
moon cycle. Sorry, this.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I do.
Okay.
Because, to be honest with you, I see things differently. I am a man of faith, and I say, God, if you want me to reap X amount, it doesn't matter what I plant. You will provide it for me. If you know my need, because there are times there's times I plant stuff out of season and they bloom based on how I treat them. This might sound a bit crazy, right? You always talk to your plants?
Yes.
The communication with your crops is very good. Now, I'm going to tell you, the reason why I tell you this, there's a study that was done on water by a Chinese guy. His name is something Emoto. I could only remember Emoto. But they did studies on water. Well, you know, our bodies is made up of 90% water, same too with the plants. And what he did, the studies that they did was with water, they have a glass of water, they put it to negative stimuli, or just say negative things to it. And they have one there at the top, nice things too, right? And when they put them in to study the crystals, they find that the ones that they were talking about negatively had ugly crystals, and the one that they was have the nice, the look positive, have beautiful crystals. Now the thing is, have you ever gone around somebody and you sit by somebody and they just feel so welcome?
Yes.
And then you go by somebody and then everything is based on energy. Right? So you gotta be very, very careful. No, I used to listen a lot of explicit rap music back in my younger days. And when I finished listening to that music, I used to feel so depressed and just aggressive and all things like that. Now when I put myself to positive music, it feels so uplifting. So there's this. So think about that even with the plants. Alright, so try it and you will see if they respond, how they respond.
That's why you could afford to be out there up to 11.
Yes. Yes.
No, it is said that music like that kills plants, you know. Negative music kills plants.
Kill plants, yeah.
I have the book at home.
Yeah. So you talk to plants, have communication. When I go into my garden, I play a lot of gospel music in my garden.
What is the negative music?
What is the negative music?
Bad music.
If I come and tell you
bad things, like bad word.
Yes. Think that tell you, okay, I'm gonna kill you. This kind of thing.
Oh, that kind of
immorality music, you know that kind of thing.
Some music in the van that we listen to, it's very dangerous. That's what people talk about that.
Okay. A question up there, please.
No, my question goes back to irrigation. Is there a difference in using rainwater versus pipe water?
Yes, pipe water, I try my best. Only if I have to use pipe water, I use it. And even when I'm using pipe water, I will make sure to throw it in a drum of water and leave it out. So the chlorine or whatever could either evaporate or settle. Right? Because the chlorine itself inside actually stunts your plants. Rainwater, you must watch it with a lettuce bed.
Especially the young.
Yes.
Yes, it shows.
When I do my lettuce dry season, I got it wetting. Unless some rain just fall. You see them just
Different.
Some of them when people order lettuce from me, I just say to them, well, even in this season, I say, well, if rain come through this week, you'll get the lettuce by next week. If not, give me 3 weeks. Because as soon as the rain hit them, right?
But they say you're not supposed to water if the sun is hot. But if the rain comes down,
let me ask you a question. Rain don't come down when it's hot.
But this is what I'm saying. That's the difference. No? That's the difference.
I was even once told you're not supposed to even wet cucumbers. I'm like, but cucumbers is mostly water. You know, you're not supposed to wash cucumbers. I'm like, what?
You're not supposed to wash them?
Yeah, like wash them, like if you pick them and stuff like that, certain time you're not to wash. I'm saying, what?
Even like that?
That's crazy.
Now, pest and weed control, well, we already talk about the 6 inches, right? And the cover crops help to, like the positive help to, okay? No, did I talk about the pesticide? No. Now, the pesticide, what you can do here is, for instance, the reason why I was telling you about my beds, and then I have the shives itself help to repel certain pests. Now, the thing is, no matter what you do, you're not going to eradicate. We will start side. Shive is the actual one.
I plant side, I didn't hear what you said.
Side, so put side. You put side, okay, we talk side. You put side in your garden, it helps with repelling certain pests. Alright? Marigold, yes. One of my favorite things to put in my soil is the neem. Right? The neem oil, well, sometimes I can't even purchase the neem oil. So all I do, the same how I make my liquid, the black gold, what I do, I take the leaves and the fruits, I put it in my drum of water and I leave it there to ferment, and then I spray my plants. The thing is, we just want it to work instantly. It doesn't work instantly. It's over time. Another thing that you can actually use in the garden that helps you repel pests, but you have to hit the plants like every 3 days, baking soda. Baking soda is also good. Baking soda with a little bit of dish soap. Even with your, if you have pepper sauce, you can use the pepper sauce. Right? Now there's something I am experimenting with also, and I don't advise you guys, because you guys might be the one who actually find a plant. What I do is that I look at plants within my environment that certain pests don't trouble. But I make sure research that they're not poisonous. And what I do, I will do the same thing, like ferment them and spray my plants, just to see if it will repel. Right? So sometimes I use the big leaf thyme and those things. Now the thing is, you could also plant other plants within your garden, like basil. So those scented, even rosemary, you plant them at strategic areas. So you have that scent within the garden, and those scents just disturb the insects and repel some of them. Bees is very good. That is what you need. You need that in the farm.
That is good. I have all of those.
All the mints. Well, all the mints are good.
But the thing is, snail. See the long slimy. Every night them come and eat the oreganos.
That is slugs. So
that's the only thing you attract.
That's why you need the eggshells. The eggshells. Okay, eggshells go take care of that.
Can I interrupt you, please?
Huh?
Can I interrupt?
Yes, please.
You have peppermint.
Yes, I have the mint, the peppermint, the basil. I am a mint collector.
Can I have a small sprig?
So,
You can't spray
I love
it. Can I? Peppermint.
Me too. I had a nice we'll continue. Excuse me.
So you're being very pleased.
The papaya bush. The papaya bush. And pong it up with a piece of aloes and garlic. And you strain, pong it, and you get the juice.
Right.
And then you put it into a spray bottle and spray it down.
Well, I never know about the pepper bush, but what I know about the pepper bush, if you're doing poultry, it is very, very good for your birds. Pepper bush, the mango bush, those things are good for for their gut health and help them to grow quicker.
So how do you process it? You just get it just like that, or you have to grind it?
You grind it up, you put in the feed. And what I do, sometimes I blend the bush, strain it and put it in the water. What I do, and the other thing now, this is a trick of mine. What I do in my fall feed, I try not to give my birds the dry feed. What I do, I put them in a bucket, soak it with whatever garlic water, soak it overnight, or give it 24 hours, and I feed my birds.
With the
and it saves you the wet feed. They eat less. It swells, so you have half a bucket swell to a whole bucket. Right? And they drink less water. Right? So now I gotta be honest with you, some people say there's something about my chickens. Right? I try to feed them. I do give them the commercial feed sometimes. Well, I do get them cut, but I mix it with my vegetables. Whatever I can, even my weeds. The weeds, even the nut grass and all of that.
I just want to make a point because, you know, I'm glad how you go to that thing with the buds. Because a number of persons think because we talk about ecological gardens, we're just talking about vegetables.
So, but the boards are important.
So the boards, so everything, you see that web cycle?
Yeah.
All that, the boards, you know, it's the same thing when you're home. just 10, 20, well not 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years ago when we grew up, everything that they plant, they get a goat, a cattle, you get the grass behind it, they cut up that, they feed it, the thing, they use back that in the yam. So is that kind of cycle, that kind of natural cycle. And all we're saying is basically to take the pesticides and the manufacture manure, just take them out of that. Because I'm not too sure, every time you hear somebody sick, you hear cancer, diabetes, you know, something really wrong, because we move away from that. And our thing is, boy, if you could go down by the supermarket there and you push the trolleys, and the more thin food that you have inside that, the better you look, the more affluent you look. And then our relatives overseas, they send all these tin packed within the barrels and so on, you know. So we really need to move away, because one, you know, these foods are toxic. They're poison. You know, to preserve these things, they have to use all type of, you know, chemicals in them. And remember the food that coming from America. Look at the chicken. I was on the beach and I was speaking with a friend of mine. So he told me he living in Canada. He went to, he bought this box of chicken, like what? This is what they call that. So he said when he realized that the part of the chicken was as big as his hand, and he's a big man. So he said he took it, I almost called the name of the person. he took it to this guy and he said, look, just do what you can do with that. Because he realized all the chemicals and the food, we consume quite a lot of food from America. We import quite a lot of food from America, and the food is not good. So always saying, let's get back to basics. You know, get back to basics. And if we start to, in terms, it's what we eat that poison us. You want to make you fat? I poison you. And if we go back to eating proper things, you know, so I'm really impressed. You know, those persons who are here who actually do their farming and so on, you know, just continue what you're doing. And Dane is giving us some excellent ideas in terms of how to move forward and that. So I'm really, really impressed with.
Question.
Yeah.
Watergrass, you know what? Country, right? Country.
Yeah.
How useful is that to your agriculture?
Watergrass. First thing I'm gonna say, do you know you could eat watergrass at a lettuce? Of course.
Yes.
Us, we can eat watergrass, just like a lettuce.
Right.
Right? Now the thing, when I have my young chicks, to help with their add a bit of electrolyte and stuff for them, to boost them, I put watergrass in the water and give it to them. I feed my birds watergrass. I know they say, oh, the birds can't digest. The birds can't digest the chlorophyll. And somebody from agriculture did tell me that, and I ignore them. Because even if you look outside, you see the regular birds them, and and once I see they eat them. So and then when I slaughter them, I actually see that they're broken down. So you know, so watergrass is very good. If you could give them watergrass every day, give them some.
Watergrass hard to control.
No, but use them. Here the thing is, you find things like that. A lot of watergrass in your yard. All you could do, build a chicken pet, and you feed them. The how you get rid of them. Because this is how I do things, right? If I find something that's very troubling to me, or stressful for me, like in my garden, I'm gonna find something that okay. I know if I do this, it will make me feel more better while dealing with them. So, for instance, okay, I have rabbits, plenty water grass and stuff to feed them. I have chickens, and that's what I do. You know, just invest in those things to try to get rid of those. And then the thing with the water grass, go back to your mulching. The mulch will take care of that. The thing is now, don't think that, okay, you're going to mulch and then you're not going to get any more weeds. You're going to get weeds. But you're not going to get, you're going to get less, and then you don't have to go dig the soil to pull them out. You could just do that and they come up. Right?
One of our problems is that I think we allow some things to go too far. We can control a lot of things within time, but once you allow them to get out of hand, then you can't control them again. And that's why you have to be consistent. If you're doing farming, you have to be consistent. So if you're doing land, you have to spend quality time in your land. If you want to get quality produce, you have to spend quality time in your land.
Now, I want to make a point on something, right? Look at it this way. Your body is healthy, right? And there's a virus going around. It's very difficult for you. It's going to be harder for you to contract it or catch it, right? Think about your plant in that light. If your plant has healthy soil, you're going to make it more resistant to salt and things. So, first thing when it comes to planting, people always think about the plant's force. But the first thing you're supposed to think of is the soil.
The soil.
The soil is what feeds your plants and maintain your plants. That is what you have to think about first. So once the soil is healthy, you get healthy plants. Whatever pests come, they're more resistant. It give you more time to correct it. You pour your soil, everything will go down one side. Alright? Huh? Things stop longer to come up. Well, the reason why things stop longer to come up is because the soil is healthy. The soil has enough nutrients. You have a child, if you feed it all the right proper nutrients, it shoot up. You have enough nutrients, it puny.
I have a very simple question.
Yes.
About the fall feed, you put it in just regular water and leave it overnight?
Well,
you have to add anything to it?
Like I said, like if you want to give it, like how I said, okay, the thing is the proper leaves help them to go quicker. So what I said, I will blend that, strain it, then I will put it in a 5-gallon bucket of water, and I chew my feed, and then so the feed sucks up that other nutrients for them. So you could do that with any other thing. I give them even ginger sometimes, turmeric. Those things are good for your bones.
Yes, season them.
Season them. Now you know. So actually, they actually taste different. They actually taste different. Yeah, right. Moringa is very, very good for your animals in general. Moringa is like a complete food for us as humans and also for animals. No, moringa was sold to us wrongfully. They sold us moringa as this health plant that cure everything. No, moringa is just supplement. Like how you're going to take a centrum. That's why they had it in Africa to help to feed the people, because it's a supplement. It has everything in there basically that helps to build your body and stuff, but it's not a plant to feed.
So it's a booster.
Not just food in general. Healthy food.
Alright, please. The sister just mentioned, he said it jokingly, but it has some about the, you know, yes, it's in the bit. Do you realize sometimes when you're eating ground provision in particular, that you can actually taste the soil? Yeah. You ever experience that? So when she mentioned that, you know, it draws me back. Well, we're talking about the livestock, about the poultry. But I vividly, you don't get it so much these days, maybe because the crops are overladen with the fertilizer thing. But growing up and with the same thing, well, Sister Virgil, know my own man and so on, but, you know, yes, and, you know, with very minimal little use of fertilizer, using that mulch and the organic, you're actually tasting the soil in your food. it's something I could relate to quite a bit. Yes.
And now that you mentioned that, if you can taste the soil in your food, just imagine when you spread the Gramazone before, and then just imagine what you're eating. Right? And I get to understand that the Gramazone don't really leave your soil. It actually ends up back in your food, and you eat it.
Wow.
Right? So these pesticides and herbicides actually end up back in your food.
If I may say something, please. I do poultry. I grow layers and broilers. The broilers that I grow, they are for me to eat. So I will like give them this. Take the time. Once I have a lot of those, I will give them to them. I hardly sell any. So once I have chickens, I may sell somebody that I know very well, and I may give away few. But the others, I cut them home, I will use them, and I store them. Those are what I use.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
The chicken in the shop, it tastes better than your chicken?
No, I hardly buy that. I hardly buy that. Even in December, I slaughter an animal, a cow, a bull. And persons called back, and they wanted to know, how come your meat tastes so? Your meat tastes good. And I would say to them, because my animal was grown with love, green pasture and love, because I never curse my animals them. I don't beat them off. Even when he was to slaughter, I had to go and hide, because he looked at me as if to say, "Girl, me last by you." So I was, the way how he was looking at me, because once I go, I don't beat them, I don't curse them, you know, and I had to go and hide, because he was looking at me that way, so that I didn't feel that guilty, and it took me a while before I ate some of the meat.
Well, I could eat the chickens and stuff like that. But see, like goat and sheep and things, I can't eat the meat. Because I just had them like pets. I didn't even name them. I just have to get people come and kill them all kind of thing. I can't.
My second son was like that. He used to help me with the broilers. He will eat the eggs because they're different. But once the broilers reach 4 weeks, we became enemies. He's not saying good morning, nothing. He doesn't want my food to eat. Why? Because all I love to do is to kill. I go and kill them. And then whenever you cook chicken, he will come home. We are cooking. And I used to say, well, chicken. Which one of them? Who will be? Such and such. Because he would have given them names. So because of that, sometimes I used to buy like drumsticks. And I used to say to him, which Paul do you ever see with 4 drumsticks? Yes, he's 4 today. Me no you. And he will start spitting. He will have to go to the cupboard, take sugar, put in his mouth, and he will not eat not whether cattle or whatever you kill. He will eat the plants, but not the animals, because he will be too attached to them.
I think at this stage I just want to intervene at 5 minutes. Then if you can just wrap up in 5 minutes, because there is a program that should start in Vermont as of tomorrow. So I'd want Andrew Lockhart to talk to us about 10 minutes, and then we come to we end the session. Thanks.
Yeah, I was just saying that in 2013 we did a program, Show the Island, but it was Farm Field School. And at that program we were taught that you are your animal's best friend. Okay? And your animal will know you because you connect with your animal. That is what husbandry is all about. You know, it's that you're taking care of your animal. So then you have your animal, you name your animal, you have the name. The first thing animal, if your animal see you anywhere, they will bark because they see you. You understand? They had a sensitivity that they know you, they know you. Okay, they recognize you. So if somebody stole your animal, find them your animal, see animal, identify you. So make sure you take care of animal and treat the animal good, because once you treat the animal good, the animal will respond to you in a positive way.
And well, I have a boar or goat, right? And if my dog comes close to me and she's there, she go after them. Anybody come after me, She like if she is a dog and she protects it. She don't like no other animal coming in.
That's your best friend. That's your best friend.
Like when she comes, she rub up, and then she tries to get blood me, and I'm like, look at you. You know? Right. So now the other thing now is for if you don't have space in your yard, that doesn't mean you can't have a garden. You can plant in the air. When I say in the air, you can plant. You can have your own little ecosystem in one of those half junk, even a bucket. You have a bucket, you can have a mint in it. You could have a piece of side, you could have a side, you could have something in a 5-gallon bucket. You could have your own garden. Otherwise, even on your porch. The thing is, always take into consideration the light, where the light is coming from, which plant, the location, which plant works better in that condition, and you farm accordingly. Some people just plant and say, oh, I plant this and I know why I give it this manure and I give it that manure and it ain't coming. Sometimes it's because of the light intensity. With the placement of the plant, where it's placed. If it's a plant that needs the morning sun, or just needs 6 hours of sun, you can leave it out in the sun. You take forward 8, 10 hours, right? We have to take all of that into consideration when planting. Alright? And yes, I think that's any other questions and any other questions?
Okay, good.
One comment. I planted some arrows and some potato right over there. And there were a lot of planting plants that I fallen. I chop up all the bush.
Right.
And the guy just laid the furrows. They got nothing else. I can tell you about some dashes and some potato and some arrow. Everybody's asking, what you put in these things? I said, nothing. Things don't grow like that if you put nothing. I changed it up a little bit, but they didn't come so good this time.
One question.
Yes.
You plant some potatoes, so somebody could tell me one. And you have some fowls, and fowls will look at the cut off all potato vines, just leave the stalk.
Yeah,
cut off all the
they feed on them, they're food.
Potato vine is
Vine is food.
So it's very good for boys. But you want a solution to that.
Cut off all the corn, the top of the corn, and just leave it.
They give it the young plants. Well, owners, who own the farm that?
Nobody.
Nobody.
As long as there any animal coming in your place, it don't have an owner.
Well, then you build a penalty.
But then you're going to have somebody claiming them. But when they just go
I don't know what to tell you, but the thing is, fall is good. At the end of the day, fall is good for your garden. Even if you're doing mulching, because they have to thaw. Right? If you know to deal, but when it's other people, this is something that we need to change in Sylvans. Right? People, animal coming in and damaging. We're not supposed to have fowl and stuff like that. We're supposed to have them in our own. That's why in some areas in Sylvans, you can't rear any animals in those areas. In an area in our garden, you can't rear. In King Garden, you can't rear animals. Nothing to shoot.
Back at King Garden.
Because of those things. But we need we need to make sure get that kind of implemented in our country, because a lot of farmers are struggling with that. And it's not good that, okay, you have goat, you have sheep, and you have fowl, and I'm doing crops. And my crops can't thrive, and your animal is actually eating my stuff. So that's something that we need to address. We need to address that.
You know, the fowl then, the calf fowl is some calf fowl. They have sense like people. As in movement, I push the back door and morning, you think, she coming. You see all of them lead out on the
Question. How many fowls are we talking about?
About 6 cock fowls.
6 fowls? How much is it worth to you for me to come take care of them? And I don't eat them. I don't eat them.
So it's not hers, you know. She says not hers.
Well, I'll take care of them for her.
Oh, I get what
So
you're
this
saying.
is why I'm asking how much is it worth to
I
her.
start to get a little ease because you don't sleep on a tree. Just away from me. So I do like 6 o'clock. I go with a long bamboo and I chase them out. Sometimes I drop all of the neighbors' house.
One more thing I want to mention, as you mentioned.
God.
So they won't flip you. Just ignore it. Now that you mentioned about sweet potato, I want to say something about sweet potato, right? Everybody know that sweet potato basically has a season.
Oh yeah?
Right? Yes.
I don't know that.
You plant sweet potato in the rainy season, we get more leaves, more vine than anything. Potato love, they like the dry weather and they love a level of stress. When they get the stress, they actually bear the fruit. So once you know that anytime you see the fruit established, then you could start to feed them a little bit or whatever. A bit more, but not too much because they could just give you more leaves than anything. And the thing is, the potato leaves are edible, you could use it just as color.
Yes.
Right? And with that, I wrap up.
Okay, one last question.
Let's put our hands together.
What time you think I should plant? Because I did some bank already. What time is it good to plant potato?
All no good.
Now is a good time.
Like say.
The summertime is best.
Well, no, it's basically summer.
No.
Remember we get spring in May.
Okay, like
Alright, okay guys. One question.
when you see the rainy season is ending, you can start to plant. And in between that period you can plant. No, I'm taking the chance now to plant now because I have a month to play with.
Okay.
So if I get the month to play, I'm gonna see what happens. Right? Because spring starts. Well, it's the spring start next week because it's April. April. Right? So the more the sun gonna right? So like I plant some about 2-3 weeks ago I plant some.
Wow.
Right? And I'm gonna see what happens.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
The Bible states when you saw the fig leaf, now it's springtime.
So we are not fig leaf.
We change everything because we do things from our standpoint. Okay, but if you might give us a thing for answer for everything.
Yes.
Everything about it, change my thing. Every answer.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's put our hands together again, which is excellent. Remind me of the one in Spring Village. This is excellent, but I think this one is better.
Thank you, man.
This one is much better. So, at this stage I'd ask 10 minutes, Andrew, and then we would end up with get something to eat. And Amo, where's Amo?
Right here.
Right. So, let's see if we could organize. There wouldn't be anything much for other than the monitoring, biodiversity monitoring with Andrew. But if we can get those persons, because we got to coordinate with Dean, when we would provide the transport and we would provide lunch. Okay, when sometime maybe late in April. Yeah, and that would be at Prospect, Belvedere, Stubbs, because it's 2 areas, 2 sites, you know. And you've been talking about the dragon fruits. So those persons who want to get into dragon fruits, you would get a better idea. So Andrew, over to you.
Yes.
10 minutes.
Okay, yes, that's more than enough. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
Sorry, but I have to leave now.
Okay.
Right? So I was telling Amo to get me a juice, but she don't want to give me a juice. I don't know why. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Nice having you. Yes. Okay, so I'm the other Andrew. Lockhart is my surname. I was once a forestry officer and also assigned to the National Parks and Beaches Authority. So this is home for me. And it's nice to be with you this afternoon. I actually ran away from another workshop at the forestry department. And I ran away because I have a very important message for you. And it's going to be a request. But it's a request that fits directly into our project, the JEMS watershed management project of, which you are here. We realize that the ghetto is fast becoming a training institution and a center for exchange and local knowledge. And that's great. Usually when you hear about ghetto in community is something negative, but this is really uplifting stuff we're dealing with here. Now, so the project that we want to introduce to you is called a Mongoose Control Project. Freddie. Mongoose. Mongoose? You sure? You sure? All right, well, I'm delighted. We're delighted to hear that. At forestry, they have gotten people they have 3 people, some doctor people all the way down from Australia. You see, they're doing financing, finance and equipment from New Zealand. People from within the Caribbean with forestry. Over 40 persons there about, including civil society. I happen to represent JEMS, but I'm also a member of the St. and Grenadines National Trust. And you might want to know what the trust has to do with this. Anything about the trust, we talk about petroglyph and artifacts and so on, but the trust, by virtue of its act, 1969 Act, we also have legislative and institutional responsibility for biodiversity. So wherever you have like a petroglyph, any wildlife in that area is also considered part of the resources under the control of the trust. Now, mongoose, from everybody, your farmer, and then some, right? Some persons, there's at one time, who else I can't remember, you were involved in tourism, enterprise, taking people on the Vermont Nature. You were folks who helped organize the Vermont Nature Trail back in 1991, alongside forestry and so on. Mongoose is what we call, it was introduced. It was introduced into St. and Grenadines, as indeed all of the other Caribbean islands at the time of plantation, slavery, sugar slavery. And why was it introduced? Why was mongoose introduced then?
Control snakes.
Control the snake population. Right? We have 3 species of snake in St. and Grenadines. Ladies, don't anytime you hear about snake, it's a different bites. But one of those snakes, we have the white snake, some people call it the brown snake, and some people the garden snake. We have the Congo, and what is the third one? Black snake. The black snake is what we're interested in from a forestry standpoint, but up this up. Up this up. But mongoose is present from down at the seashore right up to the rainforest.
Right now we try to put them in
and potato, how much about a sack of potato right now?
$200? 180
for most of the
Alright, so straight away, we have a testimony that mangoes is strengthening your optimal take home for your sweat and your toil and your labor. And that is precisely what we're talking about here. So for persons like Vermont come here whose farm is close to the forest edge, you in particular, you could tell it there, right? So it's not just about the wildlife, it's about your farming system and so on there. But we talk about sweet potato. But is sweet potato the only thing mangoes does trouble?
Young chicken. Young chicken too. Young chicken.
Anything else? Birds. You're talking about in the web of life. The insect. But what I hear is said, what about your kitty and your lammy? Yes, please. Yes, please. So sometimes when we think that it might be somebody granny dog or the hybrid dog.
Even some rabbits I read home. And when I was there, I saw the mangoes come from house on the right by the rabbit there. And when I miss rabbit, I never know the mangoes in that.
A forestry officer told me on Saturday, going in Montreal, pick up a research card, telling me someone sent him a picture that a mongoose was actually jogging away an iguana. Iguana. And iguana is one of those high-priced wildlife that because, especially the folks who come from, from overseas want to carry back something. So even from guys who will hunt iguana as a livelihood, which is seasonal, once in, about 2 months in a year, they have that as a livelihood. Mongoose threatening that. So this is something that we definitely need to deal with. Now, I mentioned, there's a reason why I didn't mention in terms of the Vermont nature trail and so on. So, we have tourism, tourists coming up, we're going on the trail. We now have a very bad habit among us. Everything we eat, we throw away and so on. Do we know that Freddy is a scavenger too? Yes. So when you go around again and you think it's dogs and so on pulling your garbage, no, it's Freddy. Freddy going to see what is there. Because he's a top predator. There is no natural, as far as we know, there is no natural predator, anything that feeds on him. So he's at the top of the food tree, And he's a ruder, it's the rat family. Yeah. So you leave rat, a male and female within weeks and so on. By the end of the year, you have dozens and hundreds and so on. And so that's why you see all over. So I told my forestry colleagues that we're having this project. We are part of with them too actually, because as Doc was mentioning there, we're supposed to have about 10, 15 youngsters that we want to come and do biodiversity monitoring on how to identify birds and plants and so on. So this is part of it, and to get rid of the mongoose. We also have, as another invasive, we have the giant African snail. Then you mentioned about the African snail earlier on, I think. The slugs. Yes, so all of those. But Freddy, when Freddy ain't get the nice food, he going after them there too. Oh. So we have to, we have to manage, everything together. Yes, Freddy. So he eats on everything. So all of the nice critters and so on that we need. So our forestry colleagues, they were delighted to know that we have with this project, because we have 2 different components with our farmers, which are the eco-garden, we have the agroforestry, with the fruit trees and so on there, and hopefully if we get the youngsters then. So this is a plea to you to come on board with us. At some point in time, we have to lay out traps, determine where is the hotspot areas. So you say if you have to manage Freddy in the environment, in the villages, up close to the forest, within the forest itself. So this has to be a collective effort. We want to look at, we haven't seen much young men among us, unfortunately, but there is opportunity for the construction of traps. Those traps have to be deployed. We have to put them out in the areas where, where we know and where we don't know Freddy might be. We'll have to go and play those traps, have to bait them and so on. So there is opportunity here. If you know any young man with some skills who don't have much doing, you could be in touch base with Sister Amo.
Young man, young women.
Young females too, because look around, most females, in farmers and so on there too. So we're definitely making this pledge to do so. So the black snake, we find it here in the 3 watersheds. In Connery, South Rivers, those areas, Park, those areas, and also in our other watershed, Springville Lake Mountain and so on. So spread the word for us. Tomorrow afternoon, the forestry, the folks who are in the workshop there, they're going to be coming to Vermont. They're going to use Vermont as a pilot to test the traps. They have different types of traps and cameras and so on. But at some point in time, this will be spread out. So we want to, for you to allow the team to come in to set the traps. We're going to have to come for you. We will, depending on you to tell us where mangoes, what the chocolate, what the animals they have and so on. Right? Yes. So any questions? So that's basically, you'll hear more about it.
Just a comment. I have spoken to a lot of the youngsters that are around, those who are in like Form 2, 3, up to 5, some at college.
Yes.
So we mentioned to them about the bird watching, the need for them to get involved and stuff like that. And every time some of them see me, man, miss me happen, man. Miss me happen.
That's great.
And I kept telling them, it's coming on street. Mr. Guardian,
in the next 2 weeks, let me.
So you need to give the information so we can get them. And I think Mr. Malcolm is here to represent the Pathfinders. I have one thing that bothers me a lot in my mountain is the thing with the eat. Two things. No, tattoo bother my sister over there, and the manicure bother me in my. It had this big fruit we call granadilla. Some people call it, I didn't guess. Some say gabadi, some. And these manicure went and eat 5. Big one. Then he had a small one, look a kind of puppy. So I take a black bag and I wrap it. Joke. When I go up in the next week, he rip off the bag and he eat this something. But if I catch that.
You can go on the day and something you find very hard.
And I have plenty of treatment.
Now she need a job.
Oh, you go back with the information you want. These manicure. To be honest.
Go back, you peel the one in straight.
Go ahead.
Yes. So we are on a campaign. We, meaning the forestry department, together with farmers, those farmers in the watershed areas of St. Vincent, on mainland St. Vincent. There is an overpopulation of mongoose. This is a pest that was, well, it was a wildlife that was introduced in colonial days to ward off keep in control the population of snakes. The snakes were, snakes, generally people do not like to have snakes around. There is a phobia about snakes, but snakes really don't. But snakes help to keep rat population down. And rats, they are themselves pests. They feed on your corn, your sweet potatoes. Rats carry leptospirosis and other diseases. So snake is a natural predator to keep that particular pest around. So there is a food chain. So snakes feed on the rats, the mongoose feed on the snake, and every other wildlife in between that. So the forestry department is on a quest to control the mongoose population. There's going to be a pilot right here in the Vermont, Bookament watershed, and hopefully in the short to medium term, that eradication exercise should also be launched in other watersheds, in other farming areas. It is a joint undertaking. We really cannot leave it up to the forestry department alone, but other government agencies, and definitely the communities, the farmers, and anybody who interface with the land, the forest, and so on, will have to come on board. Well, we are appealing to you to come on board with us to eradicate this pest, the mongoose.
Contact number?
The contact number, I will give you the contact number for the forestry department. They are the agency, the state entity responsible for wildlife. and the number there is 4578594. Just to repeat, 4578594. Forestry Department, Camden Park.
I always knew there was a brown snake, a white snake, and a Congo snake. Today I'm learning that there's a black snake.
Yes.
How do you just look at them and determine which is which? I mean, between the Congo snake. Huh?
Black snake carries stuff like a comb.
You can see if you ever meet it one time, you'll be afraid of it. I met it more than one time. The first time I met it, I was going to the down water plant. I was going to have a chip up there, and I was going there. So I was going across the river, we saw this black shell thing at the river. And it was just like that, and and just, like that. And you had to run from it. And people say it will run you down. But I never experienced that it run you down. The other time I met it, I was in the mountain looking at the right when I went by the pasture, he saw me and just run. So somebody said to me, anytime I say run, he's coming back at you.
No, that's not true.
But they're not true. Yes. Okay? And they are the easiest snakes to die. Okay? Because they don't pull up. They always stretch out. Like that, straight like that. And you can take the dot and throw that right there. And he did, that's it. That's it.
So, thank you for that, Brother Malcolm. I will remember to tell the forestry guys then, when they're doing their promotion, public awareness, you're a good person to speak on that. Because precisely what you mentioned there, and in terms of, and what was said, in terms of folklore, since I was a little boy, growing up in the world, I used to hear that a lot. That it's aggressive. It's not aggressive, it's just protecting its space and so on there. But if you don't shove it in, it's not going to protect. And very important, those 3 species of snake, none of them is poisonous. None of them. No. None of them.
The black snake.
No. Love the white snake. The white snake loves the spiders, and then loves the lizards, root cockroaches and so on. The black snake that also loves the lizards, but none of them is poisonous.
I have a Congo snake and a tangerine tree right in front of my house. And some children went into jail, and they came back from the jail, and I was showing them a snake. And then they go by went right, this is a snake, they go by went right there, so, and just to see. Take a picture, and it's there right then, just what you mean. If that is dangerous, that will attack him. Never, that's not normal.
Okay, so this is a good.
No, they don't attack you.
Right.
What we do, no snake attack if you don't attack them. Once you chop them, if you meet a snake here, so you chop it, you're gonna make force. Because it defends them. It's just like human being.
And most of the time, if you mash it, it will try to
get away. You know, and it will give you a
So this is what we're doing. The next workshop here would be, well, Andrew would come talk to some of you if you want. We'll be working mainly with the young people, about 15 of them. But if you want to sit in to learn more about what we're doing, we're inviting you to come. Because the thing is, what we're hoping that when these young people, when they reach at university age, that they would study ecology, study biodiversity, and so on. And some of them, even before they go to university age, can create businesses. Look, Sandals is nearby, and how many people from this community benefiting, have taken people into the nature trail? I don't think that there's very much, so what we're hoping to do is to make sure when these monies come into St. Vincent, that I love that word, circulate, that the money circulates. That the money circulates. It moves through the economy. And one way of doing that is, able to set up these small businesses and so on. So that, and some of these small businesses would one day turn into big business. You know, somebody may have an acre of land, 2 acres of land, 3 acres of land, and would put in 5 or 6 small cottages, trash thing with water and daub and so on, put in nice toilet inside there, and these are the things that people want to, when they come to our countries, these are the things that they want to experience. But we say, no, these things are not good, these things are for poor people. No. I've walked in about 120 countries. I stayed in some places, some of the things, massive touch places, in New Zealand with Maori people. I went to, I was walking in Kenya, and then traveled down for 11 hours to Mombasa and stayed in a trash place. You know that snake around, but you had to be careful. As in Costa Rica, they took us out into the mountains for 2 weeks. You can't come out during the night because everything outside, from the massive snakes to alligator and so on. But to me, it's an experience. We enjoyed it. We don't have any of that. Those kind of risks in St. Vincent. And I think these are things that we really need to promote and encourage our young people. And nowadays, you don't need to find money to put on TV. All you just need PayPal. I don't know what is the quick money thing. You have your stuff. You have $1,000. You can create what we call a website, and people from all over the world, because they're searching for new opportunities. And St. Vincent for me is, one of the most beautiful places, and you are living in one of the most, this is paradise. Where do you have, I travel 15 minutes, I could go straight into the sea. I travel another 15 minutes up, I deep into the rainforest. No place in the world, maybe Dominica, no other place in the world where you can experience that. The issue is this, we are walking, and I'm just making a plug for the Center of Enterprise Development. CD. Enterprise Development. We are working with them, and what we want to do later would be to get our colleagues from the Center for Enterprise Development to come down later, maybe a month or 2 from now, to run some workshops in how you can, set up your businesses. Because these are all opportunities, serious opportunities, and, we gone the days where people talking about set up factory shelves and so on, like Camden Park. These are no longer in existence. But you can, in your own space, can create your own business. You have your agriculture plot. People can come, spend the day with you, walk on the plot and pay you to do that. So we have to look at tourism from a different perspective, from this matter and concrete and that kind of thing, as in sandals and the others. We have to look at it from a community sustainable tourism development model. That is what we have to look at. And we're well set in St. Vincent. We are well set. So I just want to say thanks, but I'd ask our brother to give the vote of thanks. Yes.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I see you guys are really alert. It's the first time I've been to some place where they have a lecture like this and nobody was sleeping. I mean, the topic was very interesting.
Yes.
We learned that everything in our neighborhood are important to us. Roads are important, worms are important. What else? Centipedes, the ants, and so forth. We're all friends. All right, as long as we understand the knowledge of important it is. So I want to thank the group, Dane, I want to call the names. Mr. Simmons? Yeah. Simmons, Dane, Mr. Lampard. And are you with them too? Are you with them?
They're part of your group.
I come straight from Berlin.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not with the group?
No.
And Karen, for educating us today. And based on what I see, you guys are invited to come anytime you want. All right? Just that the timing might be a little not flexible enough.
Organize
so we could organize that. So again, we want to thank you for coming here. And I have learned a lot myself. I'm a farmer. Okay, and I do a little chicken. And when somebody eat my chicken, they say, this chicken is different than what they find in the store, all right? Yes. So I want to encourage us to keep our garden going, right? Yes. Thank you.
And I need to say that all of us who intend to raise chickens, I've noticed in this Bucoming Valley here, everybody has chopped down their moringa tree. Moringa, I noted, I was watching a documentary from Hawaii. This man planted almost half of this year village in moringa trees, and he feeds that to his pigs, and they do not get fatty, and they eat that every day. They strip the bark off every branch, and that's what they feed on. So moringa is good.
I just want to let me just say thanks to our colleague, two colleagues who make sure that we are here and make sure that we return to our base safe. Yes. So let's put our hands together. And also Monty and Vinabat. I was on radio across Canada, the US, and across the Caribbean, speaking about what we're experiencing here. And so I want to say thanks, many thanks, thank you to Vinabat and to my very good friend Monty for covering this workshop. Tomorrow we would be in Spring Village, and so this is this is the first experiment. I don't want to use the word experiment, but the first experience, and you know I'm extremely happy. I know for sure that we'll get some excellent feedback. So thank you again, Monty, for being here with us. From Bay Hill Kankadi Radio and Bay Hill Radio. So what we did here, or what we're doing here, going all across Canada, all across the globe. Yeah, so it's not just in St. Vincent. So the people are hearing your voices. I didn't want to limit it to, I was tempted to ask people to say who they are and then make their point, but we didn't want to do that because by the time you say who, you call your name and so on, you know, a little butterfly may come in and it wouldn't be as natural as is. Yes. Thank you very much again.
Yes, I just want to know that.
Thank you, Amo.
Most welcome.
When the moringa tree was introduced to us in St. Vincent, I was walking on the place at the time at the life.
Yeah.
And I was the officer in charge of the farm and the kitchen. I supervised the farm and the kitchen. Okay. So I was asked to walk along with Manville Economy. Right. And the food them out there from because from Puerto Rico or somewhere. But they are the one who introduced us to the moringa, and they say in Africa that they name about 100 different things that the moringa is used for. Yes. So they advise us to use moringa as a substitute in our farm. Yes. So I did the experiment at Belize for the planting. I saw the seed in Belize and distribute them to different areas in St. Vincent. Okay? So I am the one who was responsible for distributing all the marula seed across the island in St. Vincent.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you very much.
And you use it a lot.
Yeah.